2019 is all about going from this to this. Let's go crown hunting. So welcome back to Wire Run TV, Season 2, 2019. Hopefully you've had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. For me, I spent 3 weeks over in Germany running through some of the trails and the roads over there. Certainly was a big shift from the sort of 30 degrees that we run in Queensland in December to sort of 0 degree or 1 degree over in Germany. This year for Wire Run TV, we've got a lot of good episodes coming up. We're going to talk to lots of experts, give you some really good training sessions and tips on nutrition and things like that. So each Monday night they'll be coming out just like last year, and we hope that you can check in with us on Facebook and Instagram and all those social media outlets. So this episode is all about Strava, and in particular hunting those crowns. And at the end of this episode, I've got one little secret that I want to tell you about. It was given to me by a friend, Kyle, only a couple of days ago, something which I didn't really realise and something which is going to revolutionise my crown hunting. So hang in there till the end and we'll tell you all about that. So for me, 2019 is going to be about crown hunting and particularly searching out those crowns. So I love to do this now whenever I'm going on a bit of a run, or particularly if I'm going on a run in a new area. I like to go onto Strava, go up to the segment search area, and actually have a bit of a look at the map and see if you can find a couple of crowns. Make sure you've clicked on the running part of it, not the cycling part. And see if you can find a couple of crowns or segments that might be worth having a bit of a go at. If you like the look at them, what I tend to do then is just jot them down, look at the distance, look at the pace that you need to hold, and that gets you ready for when you go out to the training session. So I did that a couple of weeks ago with a good friend of mine, Christy. We had a bit of a look at the segments, we decided which ones we wanted to have a good attack at, we wrote down, we got all the details, and then we hit it. One big rule that we had though for ourselves was that we had to do it mid-run. It wasn't like we could just go out and just run that segment. We decided that this was going to be a completely solid run, continuous run, and we just knew that when we got to that particular segment that we were going to attack it with everything we got. So here's how we went. So as you can see there, a pretty successful day for Christy out on our crown hunting run that we went on. And I think with these Strava crowns, it's something which you can get quite creative with. You can use it as a bit of a tempo run, you can use it to do a bit of an effort. And I think even if you're getting a little bit tired maybe of track sessions and speed sessions, why not use these segments as a bit of a speed session on a run that you go on. Choose 5 or 6 of them across a sort of an hour run, and when you get to that segment, give it everything you got, just like you would on a track as well. So I think using them that way is a pretty good idea. I think then going back sort of week after week after week and having a bit of a go at the same segment could show a little bit of progress, particularly if you want to mix it up with your hill runs as well. I think if you put a segment in there that you know is across a hill and you do that hill 5, 6 or 10 times in a particular session, getting faster and faster, that might be a good little bit of feedback as well. So try and get as creative as you can with these crowns. I think they're a wonderful sort of gimmick and a wonderful little tool that can certainly be beneficial to our training and help us with our racing. So once you start getting a bit creative with your crown hunting and things like that and starting to use the segments, you can start to create your own. Click on the start point and the end point of where you want your segment to be. Sometimes try and make it interesting, whether it goes a bit of around in a square or goes along a complete road or up and down a hill, whatever you particularly want it to be. Vary the length, decide where it starts and where it finishes, and give it a good name out there. Once you click next or the save button, then the Strava algorithm, I guess, gets to work, and it looks at all the people who've run that segment over the past couple of years, and it does a bit of a league table for you. So give it a couple of hours before you look at it, because that'll give you a true indication as to where you actually are. And then send a bit of a message out to your mates and see if they want to have a bit of a go at it. But certainly creating your own crowns and your own segments is a really interesting way and a good way for you to sort of bring it into your training program. So after a great effort and a great run there, I think every sort of crown hunter and crown winner deserves to get their crowning ceremony. So guys, a brand new segment on Wire Run TV each week is going to be the weekly challenge. So it's a challenge over 7 days based on the topic that we're talking about on Wire Run TV for that particular week. So this week's challenge is all about a Strava segment. So I've made a brand new segment this morning. It's called the Wire Run Mile Challenge. It's 1.6 kilometers long, exactly a mile, and it's down here at Main Beach at the Spit at Southport. Basically where it starts is down towards the seawall where we start down there, turn around the little lighthouse at the end, come back, come around Doug Jennings Park, and then back to the road where it meets the road that leads up towards SeaWorld. So I'd love for you to come out here over the next 7 days and give it a bit of a go. I set it up this morning, and so the league table has kind of already been made, but I want to see how many of you can get onto that league table in the next 7 days, who can maybe make the top 10, and maybe who's going to win the crown for the male and female. Before you come out, jump on the desktop and have a bit of a look at the segment so you know exactly where it starts and where it finishes, and give it your best. I hope you have fun, and I hope you come down here to Doug Jennings Park and have a bit of a crack at this brand new segment. So that's it for episode 1 of season 2. As I said, a little bit of a tip I heard recently from a good ultra running mate of mine called Kyle. He's actually got one of the higher level Garmin's, and he says on there that you can actually sync some of your favorite segments to your watch. So when you're out on course, as you're approaching one of the segments, it actually alerts you and tells you that you're 100 meters or 50 meters away from an upcoming segment, which is absolutely amazing. I've been doing it the old fashioned way, taking along a bit of paper with a bit of writing on it, which of course when it gets sweaty seems to disappear. So I'm still stuck back in the dark ages, but I know some of you out there who have got the higher level Garmin watches and other GPS watches will probably know that, that little trick. But it's certainly something which blew my mind about a week ago, and something I'm going to be excited about when I get a chance to buy my next watch. A book that I'm reading at the moment is a book about Ralph Dubell. It's a wonderful book. It's about one of Australia's great track runners, one of Australia's great forgotten track runners as well. So if you can get your hands on it, I thoroughly recommend it. Next week on episode 2, we're going to be looking at treadmill running, and in particular how that can help your cadence, getting your steps as close as you can to that magical number of 180 steps per minute. It's something which I've been working on for a long time, and I can start to see that I'm getting the benefits of it just recently. So whatever you're doing this week, if you're trying to stay cool in this hot summer, make sure you hydrate well. If you've got a race coming up, good luck, and hopefully we'll check in with you next Monday. Have a great week.